14 days can tell a quiet story in a garden. 2 weeks ago, the leaves in one of my beds looked pale. They were not yellow exactly. Just tired. The stems felt thin. Growth seemed slow. Nothing was dying. But nothing looked strong either. Then, 14 days later, the color had changed. The leaves were a deeper green. The stems felt firmer when I touched them. The plant stood a little more upright. Not taller overnight. Just steadier. I have watched this pattern repeat for years in gardens where people burn firewood in winter and return the ash to the soil in spring. The change is not loud. It is not dramatic. But it is visible. If your plants look tired right now, you are not doing anything wrong. Gardens move slowly. Soil changes slowly. Sometimes the reason is not what we think. Before explaining why this worked, it helps to understand what wood ash really is. When natural wood burns, the fire removes water and carbon. What remains is a soft gray powder. That powder is not empty. It holds minerals that were once inside the tree. Trees pull minerals from the soil for decades. When we burn that wood, those minerals do not disappear. They stay behind in the ash. Wood ash contains potassium. It contains calcium. It carries small amounts of trace minerals too. These are nutrients plants use for strong stems, healthy leaves, and steady growth. But the most important change is not just about adding nutrients. Wood ash gently raises soil pH. In simple words, it makes soil less acidic. Many garden soils slowly become more acidic over time. Rainfall, decomposing leaves, and certain fertilizers can all lower soil pH little by little. This happens so gradually that we often do not notice. When soil becomes too acidic, something interesting happens. Nutrients may still be present in the soil, but plants struggle to absorb them. It is not always about lack of food. Sometimes it is about access. When wood ash slightly raises the pH, it can unlock nutrients already sitting in the soil. Suddenly, roots can take in what was already there. That is why the change can show within 10 to 14 days. It is not magic. It is not sudden feeding. It is adjustment. This is something longtime growers have quietly observed for generations. They noticed that gardens near wood stoves often stayed productive. They did not always measure pH. They just watched. Slow growth does not mean you failed. It may simply mean the soil balance shifted over time. Now, not every plant responds the same way. Some vegetables tend to appreciate a slightly less acidic soil. Tomatoes often respond well. Beans can look steadier. Spinach may deepen in color. Garlic and many brassicas, like cabbage and broccoli, often grow comfortably in soil that is not too acidic. These plants do not demand high alkalinity. They simply prefer balance. Other plants are different. Blueberries, for example, love acidic soil. Potatoes also grow best in slightly acidic ground. Azaleas and rhododendrons are well known for preferring lower pH. If wood ash is added around plants that love acidity, growth may slow instead of improve. Leaves may lighten. Production may drop. This does not mean wood ash is good or bad. It simply means plants have preferences. The garden is not one system. It is many small systems living side by side. Understanding this helps prevent frustration. If one bed improves and another does not, the soil needs may simply be different. One common mistake with wood ash is using too much. Because it looks light and soft, it is easy to think more will help more. But ash is concentrated. A thick layer can raise pH too quickly. That sudden shift can stress roots. Another mistake is applying it again and again without observing. Soil does not need constant correction. A small adjustment may last for months. Some people spread ash in heavy piles, almost like compost, that can form a crust when wet. Roots do not enjoy that. And there is one important safety point. Only clean, untreated wood ash should be used. Ash from painted, stained, or treated wood may contain chemicals. Charcoal briquettes used for grilling are also not suitable. They often contain additives. More is not better in gardening. Gentle is usually wiser. Climate also plays a role. In colder regions, soils are often naturally more acidic. Snowmelt and steady rainfall slowly wash minerals downward. In these areas, wood ash may bring noticeable improvement over time. But in early spring, when soil is still cold, changes may appear slower. Microbial life in the soil wakes up gradually as temperatures rise. In warmer climates, soil reactions tend to happen faster. Microbes stay active longer through the year. If ash adjusts the pH, plants may respond a bit sooner. However, in areas with heavy rainfall, minerals can wash deeper into the soil more quickly. The effect may not last as long. If you do not see change in 14 days, that is okay. Gardens are not identical. Soil texture, rainfall, and temperature all matter. The key is watching over weeks, not hours. When I applied wood ash, I kept it simple. The ash was completely cool. It came from untreated hardwood burned in winter. I waited for a calm day without strong wind. I sprinkled a very light layer over the soil surface. Not a thick blanket. More like a soft dusting of powdered sugar. The soil was still visible underneath. Then I watered gently. Just enough to settle the ash into the top layer of soil. I did not dig deeply. I did not turn the bed over. I let the water carry it down naturally. I applied it once. Not weekly. Not monthly. Once was enough to observe. It is wise to avoid breathing ash dust. On windy days, it can drift easily. Standing upwind and moving slowly helps. Washing hands afterward is simple and sensible. There is no need for heavy lifting or constant bending. A small container and steady hands are enough. After applying it, I did not expect fireworks. The first sign was subtle. Leaves that had looked pale began to darken slightly. Not bright green overnight. Just richer. Stems felt firmer between my fingers. Plants seemed to hold themselves upright with more confidence. Growth became steady instead of hesitant. What did not happen is also important. The plants did not double in size in a week. There was no sudden burst of fruit. No dramatic transformation. Gardening rarely works that way. The change felt balanced. Quiet. Sustainable. Learning to notice these small signals builds confidence. Instead of guessing, we observe. If you have tried wood ash in your own garden, I would be interested to hear what you noticed. You might share which plants you used it around and what kind of climate you garden in. Cold winters or warm seasons year-round can make a difference. Over time, these shared experiences help all of us understand our soil better. There is a quiet principle behind this whole experience. Small adjustments matter. We often think plants need more feeding, more water, more effort. But sometimes they need balance more than quantity. Soil balance often matters more than constant fertilizer. When pH is close to what a plant prefers, nutrients already present become available. The soil begins to work with the plant instead of against it. Observation matters more than force. Instead of adding many products, turning the soil again and again, or trying new solutions every week, we can pause. We can look at leaf color, stem strength, steady growth. We can make one small shift and then wait. You do not need to change everything in your garden. You do not need to work harder each season. Sometimes one small correction allows the soil to do what it was designed to do. In gardening, as in many things, less can truly become more. Do less. Get more.